In our first major event of the year, Sport for Business hosted the Sporting Year Ahead 2021 in partnership with our friends at Teneo. We were joined by Chris Bird, CEO of Sports Travel International, to look at some of the issues regarding international travel, sports participation and the movement of fans over the next 12 months. Morning, Chris. It was great to see you on the screen earlier on. I was particularly tickled by the cycling jersey that you have in the back there, rainbow jersey.
I'm hoping we get Sam up there at some point.
That would be great. All right, he was out and about launching our new Dublin City bike scheme.
It's gone viral. That is a fantastic video.
And even with a bit of an FAI jersey thrown into it as well.
Yes, absolutely.
It nicely squaring the circle and all of the different themes of today. Tell me something, Chris. You will have had a year from hell in the travel sector, not something that you could ever have imagined. How are you feeling now at the end of January in 21 as regards what the rest of this year is going to look like?
I think looking at the market right now and almost being in a position last year, April time, May time, where we really couldn't predict how far the virus would really just paralyse the world, let alone just the travel industry. And we sat down as a management team in April, and we just looked really way forward into time and just said, look, we've got a plan that we might not take any money now until next summer. That's how we've got to think. Anything that comes in now is a bonus. I'm glad we did that because we've had no big surprises. And I think now we've got through a very, very difficult year. And when I say a difficult year, I'm talking about from a people point of view, we've had to lose people. From a health and well-being point of view, a lot of the team have been affected by not just, how their lives have changed, but also the customer service pressures that we've been put under, but also the revenue. We probably lost in terms of sales close to 18, 19 million pounds in the last 12 months. We were one of the first tour operators to, when all of this happened, we were first to give money back to customers to make sure they got refunds right away. And we've given close to 10 million pounds back in refunds. So it's if I'm looking ahead now, I'm still looking ahead as thinking that our year will probably start in earnest, probably from June onwards.
Okay. And you're based over in the UK. Is there a growing sort of collegiate sense internationally that travel will all come back at the same time? Or do you feel as though it is going to be, very much on a regional basis? How do you think that we in Ireland might actually sort of step forward in relation to that as well?
Well, I think if I start with Ireland first, there was an article that was posted yesterday by the governing body of travel in Ireland, where they were saying that the slowness of the vaccine rollout may cause a problem for Irish travel. That's people going out and people coming in. So I think some of the issues will be around the regional impact of the vaccines and the R rate. And that's different whether you're in France, whether you're in Germany, whether you're in the UK, whether you're in Ireland. So I think the world will open up again, but I think it'll open up in pieces. It won't be, we hit June the 1st and everybody says, right, back to normal. That's not going to happen. It will be on a case-by-case basis. And we're looking at that very closely because, we've got a number of big events throughout the year that we're involved with, all the major marathons, big cycling events like the Tour de France, triathlon events. And we have a resort out in Lanzarote called Club de Santa, which, has not been open now for almost a year. So it's going to be parts of the world will open up, and that'll be determined very much by vaccine, very much by the R rate, but also there'll be a lot of political pressure as well, because tourism for a lot of the countries that we all travel to is absolutely the key to their survival. So there'll be a real balancing act to be done.
Your particular role is in cycling and the mass participation events and moving people around. You know your audience well.
Yeah.
You will have bought an awful lot of goodwill and benefit from doing the right thing at the right time in the early stages of this crisis. Do you feel as though there is a pent-up demand that we will get back to doing what we always did?
Yeah. It's funny, I had a conversation yesterday with my director of operations, Alex DeWard, and he's calling it revenge travel, because there is that pent-up thinking of right, let's get that bloody virus out of the way, and I'm going to go and do the things I want to do, whether it's a new challenge, whether it's ticking off the bucket list. They want to get back on the bike and ride the Pyrenees or the Alps. They want to go and run through the streets of Dublin. They want to go and run through the streets of New York. And they want to go and swim in a big triathlon. So, yeah, there is that pent-up revenge culture coming through. We can see it on our social media, the way people are talking. But it's also very interesting, the Teneo research about people getting into exercise. We're seeing that as well, where people are coming through where they probably haven't been on a bike for a long time, but during lockdown, they've got out more and done exercise more, and they've started running more. And now we're seeing that the impact of engagement on our social platforms and our website of people inquiring about what can they do next, or what can they do for the first time.
And that really is important. I mean, I ran my first 5K, which is pretty ridiculous when you get to my advanced stage in life. During the course of the lockdown, it was the virtual one with Mark Pollock Trust. But I'm looking. I want to see, well, what can I do next? What can I do? And whether I certainly won't be at the stage of going and competing in Ironman or anything like that. People at different stages will be looking to up their level of experience.
Yeah, and it's working across the board as well. It's not just about individuals; it's also groups are looking at it more, and also businesses, corporates. We're getting my director of commercial, Brendan Fox, is working very closely with prostate cancer at the moment, and a number of other corporate organisations that want bespoke packages. They want to create their own tour, their own challenge. So it's not just things that come off the shelf now, or some of the tools that we've already got. We're creating our own for them, because they want to do something together as a company or as a group of people to either set themselves a challenge or raise some money for good causes, because the charity sector has been obliterated during this pandemic, and they need support. And it's companies like ours and others that are being asked to say, well, what can we create to help these charities get back on their feet again? So there's a big opportunity for the travel sector in the next 1 to 2 years.
You mentioned June the 1st there as being that sort of date, and you sort of think maybe we will, maybe we won't. That's only 10 days before the start of the European Championships, spread across 12 cities all around.
And only 7 days before the start of the Tour de France. Sorry, about 3 weeks before the Tour de France starts.
Okay, how quickly do you think that the travel infrastructure will be able to actually get back up to speed once it becomes clear that the public health situation is more under control? And I know there's multiple variables in there, but if we get to a point where we've got 50% of the population, the general population, that have gotten a vaccine, and government feels it's okay to open up again, how quickly do you think that we will be seeing mass participation?
I think it depends on a number of factors. If you ask us as Sports Tours International and our Irish Business Sports Travel International, when would we be ready? We're ready now. If we're ready to mobilise right now. But there's a number of factors have got to come into play. We've got to make sure that the airlines are ready. the hotels where we're going are ready. And also that the event owners are ready. But I think as soon as, I mean, there are already dates in the diary for events to go ahead. And you know, that they'll go from June right through to the end of the year. So we've got things already booked in. So the organisers are ready. The majority of organisers are ready and mobilised. We just got to get people there, and we've got to ensure that we've got good health and safety measures, and also the resorts or cities or towns of where we're going, they're ready for the impact of mass participation events and lots of visitors that will go and support them.
Well, the very best of luck to you in terms of that. We weren't able to talk about too much of the world of Sports Tours International in 2020. Hopefully, we will find that our news digest every morning is increasingly populated with good news.
To everybody that's on the call from Ireland, the business is Sports Travel International in Ireland, and headed up by Fidelma Alford, our territory manager, and our commercial team is headed up by Brendan Fox. So please get in touch if you want to talk to us.
Great. Well, I'm sure that we will have plenty of people that will be interested. As you say, the pent-up demand is there, and we will hopefully be back in plenty of spirit for 21.
If you're a cyclist, get your legs shaved. If you're a runner, get the dusted trainers off.
That's right. Yeah, lean muscle, isn't that what Sam was saying in the video?
Yeah. Well, I can see by your good self, you're in good shape. So yeah.
Thanks very much, Chris Bird. Thank you very much for taking the time this morning, and I'll let you back into the room now.